everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Well, that was kind of odd as fuck all. And I apologize for that. For some reason, the intros have disappeared one way or another.
Try to send us to the Shadow Realm.
Oh god. I mean, between that and the heat, it's been something. I mean, I was clearing up stuff to move to the archive folder, and shit just disappeared. I'm just like, well, where the hell did everything go? Everything is still here. Look, end credits are still here. These intros, they're all still here. Wait, I don't even remember the Vogue intro coming through. Like, what the frick? That was odd. That was really odd. I'm going to have to go through this entire playlist because it looks like everything just got thrown into utter whack. So I apologize for that. So it looks like that's something else I'll be doing this week before I go to Contropolis on Sunday. Oh God. Welcome everybody to Anime Jam Session, episode number 639. We are that podcast talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I'm Ari Rockefeller.
With that smooth jazz radio voice of his.
Still sounds like Kermit the Frog on a handful of Quaaludes.
It does not. You got a bit of like a bit of a smooth voice there, and I'm a little jealous. Just a little. Just a little. I was actually looking at getting the 2040 microphone, and I know the last time I used that, no one could barely hear me, so I sent it back. So I'm thinking about getting it again and just tweaking the settings and just seeing, because I think my Nexus can handle it, but we'll figure it out one way or another. Oh yeah, Mako-chan is off tonight. The heat is basically kicking her ass, so she's taking a KO tonight. But on the plus side, Barry will be joining us next week, so we'll have some great times with that.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And as you can see, yeah, as everyone's asking about what's going on with the stream, yeah, to reiterate, my playlist got thrown into utter whack, and I didn't realize it. So either because it got thrown into utter whack just because, or when I moved stuff into the archive, I didn't realize it was still current. So, it is what it is. So we'll figure it out one way or another. So enough about that. Let's go on with the show. So Ari, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm all right, I guess.
Same. This apartment hunt is starting to get aggravating, and I'm getting grief about it. So it's like, I'm trying. Anywho,
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, during our weekend, I'll kind of get into that. So before we jump to that, we want to let you know we are live tonight, week of July 9th, 2024, right here on Twitch TV. We are here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us on Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And they're also here on Twitch as well. You can find them at Twitch TV/VOG Network. They kick things off on Sundays with the Bobby Blackwolf Show at 8, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. So definitely check them out. And we bring it on home on Tuesdays. Yeah. And don't forget to come join in our Discord at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel. So come through, hang out, post some news, say hi, talk. It's all fun in the sun. So now that we got that out the way, I'm going to go ahead and ask Ari, how was his week? How was his day? There's got to be some great stories in there somewhere.
Last week I was on overnight shifts at work, so I really couldn't do anything on the 4th because I was just too tired and sleeping during most of the day to go out anywhere. And what was even worse was I had I was gonna bring stuff over to a friend's house
Mm-hmm.
who was doing stuff, but Walmart got my order wrong so badly that they
Ooh.
ended up just refunding everything and said I could keep the stuff they misdelivered.
I mean, they would spend more money coming to your house to collect the stuff. So
More than likely, but now I got 2 boxes of waffles and an extra box of frozen chicken, like half a dozen Stouffer's mac and cheese meals, a whole bunch of other stuff I don't know what to do with yet.
well, I can see dinner right there.
Hmm.
Chicken and waffles with a side of mac and cheese.
Yeah, the Tokyo breakfast thing.
Which I showed to some friends, which I'll go through my weekend day about that.
Hmm. Uh, let's see. The house hunting is going all right. I looked at 2 little houses this past weekend. The first one looks especially good.
Mm-hmm. That's glad to hear that.
Hmm. But I'm still trying to still looking for I want to look at least like 2 or 3 more before I decide which one I want to put a bid in on.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And, and we'll just have to wait to see how that develops.
Glad to hear
I'm
that.
also fairly certain that this month at work is going to be a 3 check month, so at the end of the month I'll have more money in my pocket because I won't get taxed on it. So that's good.
Glad to hear that.
So yeah, that's how things have been going for me.
So my weekend day has been the same as it's always been outside of work. But on the plus side, like I said, had no show last week because me and Mako and Cindy Night we went to the Atlantis Morissette concert that Wednesday, and I felt like, well, might as well just take the week off, less work I have to deal with, and just kind of organize and get things together. Um, what was cool on top of that, because at work we have summer Fridays, so that means we only work for a half a day and get paid for a full day. So my vacation week started a few hours early, which was great. So there's that. And I had went to a friend's house on on what am I saying New Year's for now? On the 4th of July. And
The heat is frying your brain.
yeah, but hopefully not so much because thankfully you can't hear it. But I have a fan on top of the table running, and it's set on an angle to blow onto me. A nice breeze coming through, and this is the
Hmm.
first time I pulled this fan out in about 2 years. I'm just like, and there's like debris and stuff in the box because the storage room where it all is just a hot mess. I cleaned that up. I'm just like, as soon as I turn it on, it's gonna all this debris is gonna come flying. Thankfully, it didn't. I'm just more worried about if it's gonna run off some type of odd scent. Thankfully, it hasn't. So what I'm going to do is get some type of like air freshener to kind of put in front of it, so I can have that coming my way because that's a good thing. So that reminds me, Ari, I gotta pick up. I gotta order some plastic hangers myself.
I
Evidently,
just put in my laundry basket to do laundry tomorrow before work.
hey, Ari, watch that. You charge for that, man. Charge for that, good sir. Don't let the ladies see that for free. So like I went out for the 4th. So I went from Mako's place to the fort to my friend's house. I hung up my friend Julia, and we did some fireworks, mostly sparklers in her backyard. And then I showed her and another friend and a friend of hers, Tokyo breakfast. I think it's a rite of passage, and I said to them, I almost did a cosplay from this. When you watch it, you'll understand which character I was going to do the cosplay from. Because for a while in the 2000s, Tokyo Breakfast was very popular. Unfortunately, no one did a cosplay from it. I mean, I just would have been funny because I was gonna walk around with an empty box of Coke 45 with a sign that said, "Who ordered a case of 40s?" And now, if I actually thought about it, I probably would have had some like tokens or something like that. They actually quoted the line, like, "Here's a token" or something like that. So there's that. Now, as Ari, I too have been apartment hunting, and I've been apartment hunting since like May. So it's been rough. Like half of the apartments I've looked at had either both rooms were too small or the second room was too small. And if it wasn't that, the apartment itself was good. It wasn't perfect, but it was like good enough. But evidently, the paperwork that we're giving them is not enough or not enough money. I mean, they're asking for like 2 months of pay stubs, a W 2, 2 months of bank statements. I mean, do you want like an ounce of blood to go with that as well? You know, I get it. I understand that landlords and so forth want to make sure that you got the money, but I'm like, if I've been living somewhere for like 10 years paying rent, what the hell makes you think I'm going to skip out on when paying rent at a new place? I mean, never had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at a place today. The bedrooms were way too small. I mean, even if I wasn't an anime fan and doing all of this, it was still too small. This is perfect for a minimalist. That's all it is. I'm looking at a place tomorrow, and I think one of the rooms is a little small. And then somebody's taking me to take a look at a place on Thursday, and it's supposed to be a 1 bedroom or a studio. I'm like, I'm looking for a 2 bedroom. It's just chaotic. Because to summarize, evidently, the person who owns this house is getting upset that I have not moved out yet, and he's yelling at the people who used to live upstairs because I was renting from the people upstairs for being here for God knows how long. So instead of coming to me, and that landlord who owns this place is supposed to help me, and I haven't heard jack, instead of yelling at the people, why don't you reach out to me and help me? To quote Kevin Hart, help me, help you. Help you, help me. That's the way it should be. But you know what? There are some people in the world who think their shit don't seem they're bigger than whatever. It is what it is. I have a feeling before the end of this month, I'm going to end up finding a place, and me and Bunny will be happy with it. I just feel bad because they had to renew their lease at their apartment they're in, because I was trying to find something before the end of June, and I did, but evidently the landlord there didn't think it was enough. So, anywho, enough about that. We're going to get into some housekeeping notes, let you know what is going on here. First, I want to let you know that video podcasts are available not just on our Twitch page. You can find episodes on our podcast stream on YouTube, youtube.com/anime jam session. Click on podcast VODs and episodes are there. I believe it'll also say podcasts as well. So there's that. Let's see, what else do I have here? I want to let you know that I will be at a couple of conventions in the next couple of weeks. Local, right over the bridge in Jersey. Contropolis, New Jersey. This weekend, July 13th and the 14th at the Meadowlands Expo Center in Secaucus, New Jersey. If you've ever been to Rhode Island Comic Con or Rhode Island Anime Con, same people, so definitely check it out. And the following weekend, July 20th to the 21st, is Collecticon at the New Jersey Convention and Expo Center in Edison, New Jersey. What's cool about these two conventions, they're sort of like a chain of conventions, because there's been Contropolis, Pennsylvania, there's been Contropolis, I think, New Hampshire, and there's going to be Contropolis, New Jersey. And if you go on the Collecticon page, they've had different cons like that around the country. There are 2-day conventions, which is kind of cool. I will be there for Contropolis. I'll be there on Sunday because I'm getting a couple of autographs. Friend of the show, awesome person, Kyle Bear is a guest there, so it's been a while since I've seen him, so I want to say hi to him. And the following weekend at Collecticon, I will be there with my friend CC Greywitch, and we will actually be cosplaying Usagi and Mamoru together, which means I have to track down a wig. Now, I normally use my normal hair, which I think is good, but she wants me to get a wig, so I will track down a wig. Thankfully, I was able to find a better pair of pants that I had, because the ones I had were kind of tight, but I could wear them, but I was always worried if I sit down, I'd end up ripping them or something like that, but thankfully, not so much. So I found a pair that are like couple of sizes up, but since it's sort of like sort of Asian sizes and they're kind of slim, this size should work just fine. So I just need to grab the wig and call it a day. And we will be there on the 27th, so that'll be fun too. All right, let's see what else we got here. We're gonna get into Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our life and let you know what's going on. So, what you got to share for us today, Ari?
Well, in the past couple weeks, I've had a whole bunch of packages come in
Mm-hmm.
around the same time, but
Mm-hmm.
this one I've especially looking forward to and wanting to show off. It's a new dice case from
Ooh.
I want someone to clip this because I wanted to show it off later on. So hey, Scott Luigi's coming in. Nice to see you.
Hey,
It's from
hey.
NTSD Gaming, and the little note says, "Ari, so glad we could finally get this custom to you. Hope you love it and enjoy the extra D20."
Oh, that was
So
nice of them.
yeah, they stuck an extra D20 in there. It holds up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 different 12 full sets of dice. But when I say custom, I mean custom.
Ooh, that is fancy.
Yep, monogrammed and everything. Took a little while to get it to me, but and especially with the custom design. But they were busy with other events, so I don't front them for it. But other than that, I'm just really happy with what I got from them. And now I can transfer everything into this nice case.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how that went.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. I started Oshinoko season 2, and that's been quite interesting. So I'm about that right now. I I've watched the latest dubbed episode of Windbreaker, which is really good. I will say this about Windbreaker. If you like rival schools, Cromartie High School, River City Ransom, Tenjo Tenge, and with a touch of adolescence coming of age, then Windbreaker's right up your alley. Let's see what else is going on here. I did a little gaming. I played Brotato. I downloaded the Last Descendant last night. Just out of curiosity to see how it is. It's actually a pretty good game, so I really can't complain too much about it. I've been meaning to get back into Final Fantasy VIII Rebirth, but it's like the way that game is now. I actually.
You mean 7 Rebirth, right?
What did I say? 8?
Yeah.
God damn it!
It happens, man.
Thanks. I would have to say that it's for FF7 Rebirth. I actually need time to It's one of those games you can't sit there for a couple of hours. I kind of need all day to deal with to kind of play it. So So there's that. I've been getting a lot more figurines in, which is something. And the next one I'm going to show off. I don't knock over this entire pile of figures. I am a fan of Spy Family. Now, one thing I do like, most of us will buy figures for the outfits and so forth, and you got those who buy it for unscrupulous reasons, just neither here nor there. So, one thing is, I like wearing suits. The only time you'll see me wearing a suit is at a con formal, which is where I kind of shine the most, per se. And I like the suit that Lloyd wears in Spy Family, aka Agent Twilight. And I keep saying that I need the pin that he wears that he's a spy. I need to put that on my Vogue polo. So I'm quote unquote cosplaying, like I'm undercover. So I think I picked this up last year, but I have Lloyd's standard outfit in his, I think, light green suit.
Mm-hmm.
I have done a cosplay from Spy Family. It's one of the other figurines, which I think I have, where he's wearing a black suit with the red tie. So as the weight kind of comes down, I can actually get down to cosplay size, which means I can actually buy a suit in that size, or I can actually get a decent green colored suit that'll double for Luigi when I do formal Luigi again, and not pay an exuberant amount of cash. Then again, regardless of the size, I'm still paying an exuberant amount of cash anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That will go into the collection. I If you look behind me, you'll see some other figurines. You'll see the Mario Kart go-kart that I have for Switch. It's the Luigi one. I showed that off a couple of years back. That's sitting there, so there's that. And I think that's all I have for a Geek Roundtable. So, something, now that we got that out of the way, there is something that I want to talk about. This came up as a comment on my fan page at facebook.com/I am DJ Ron Mez, or if you just look up DJ Ron Mez. The long and short is, I do convention reviews to share the knowledge, to share the cool shit that I've seen at conventions. And that's why I do it. That's why Mako does it, Cinenite, Ari, Koi. That's why we all do it. We go to these conventions, and they're great, and they're fun. And we do understand that not everyone can go to conventions, so we're like, let's write up something, throw some photos, and let the people think about it. And to be perfectly honest, not every convention we've gone to has been great. We have reviewed conventions where we've never really had much to say about it. We try to find the positive. And out of all the conventions we've gone to, I can list on one hand cons that we've given bad to mediocre reviews of. We have done it to Springfest. We have done it to Anime Matsuri. We have done it to DerpyCon. And we've also done it to PucciCon. So,
and New York Anime Fest.
Oh, right. Yeah, New York Anime Fest. So 5 cons in the last 15 to 20 years that we have covered. 5 of those, not so much. And we don't sit there and like berate the convention. Sometimes it seems that way because we find mostly negative things. But I can say there's always been a positive side to things. Always has been. So we always try to come up with a positive aspect of it. So, and we try to hope that when we go back to the con again, there's been some changes. I mean, oh yeah, add J1 Con to that. That was okay at most. It felt more like a flea market than anything else. Ooh. Now, DerpyCon, the first year we went, it wasn't the best review in the world because we expected like, here's a team of seasoned convention veterans running a convention. We went 2 years ago. It was pretty good. It was decent. Would I go back? Sure. It looks like there have been some changes, but not enough for me. But it's enough for me to say, you know, it's a step up, and we should go. Now, as you all know, we've done a couple of articles about about PucciCon. One was an actual convention report, and the other was an issue that the con chair posted about a meme. And if you've had your head stuck in the sand like a dodo bird or something, what had happened was PucciCon rebranded as MiraiCon, basically stealing images from that con to rebrand or from other sites. What they didn't properly do is check that there is an actual convention called MiraiCon in Florida. And basically, the people who have had nothing but bad things to say about PucciCon just came out of the woodworks and going nuts. So it's it, and that's that. So the con chair, Jennifer Perez, made, like, I would guess, the 14 points. I would call it, because I don't remember what Martin Luther called his list of
95 theses.
95 theses? Okay. I'll call this the 14 thesis. I'm not going to go into it in full detail. You can always find that on their on the PucciCon Facebook fan page and on my fan page at DJ Run Mess. And I said that what they're doing is not really going to help them. They listed it that there was no heart, there was no sincerity of them screwing up. It was more like a case of, oh shit, we really fucked up. It's time to cover our asses. So in a discussion about this, where the con chair, Jennifer Perez, also known as Just Jen Cosplay, who was basically dragged up due to her actions on my Facebook because of how she handles herself, she had this to say. Now, for those of you who can't see it too well, she left a comment. And unfortunately, because she has me blocked in a certain way where she can comment and I can't comment back. And she says, by the way, DJ, why do you ask for press passes and or attend the con as well as writing those articles? Asking honestly as well, trying to understand. Just Jen Cosplay, aka Jennifer Perez, you fucking tool. I want you to understand something. There's 4, maybe 5 of us that work for Anime Jam Session that write convention reports. And we also discuss them on the podcast. Also, if a convention does not have a section for press passes or media, we will ask because we actually work the convention. I will walk around and shoot a lot of cosplay photos. Me or Ari, we will interview cosplayers, convention industry guests. We will record the masquerade. We will have not just our podcast review, we'll have an actual written review as well. We want to show this off. It's not a lot of work, but it's an honest 3 days of work that we put out there. Now, we have come across conventions where they can't afford or they're just starting up so they can't, and we understand. CloverCon is one. They can't afford to give out press passes, but given the price of their passes, we pay anyway, and it's going to a good cause for them to build a bigger 4-H building. Shenanigans.
Oh, yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, Shenanigans is a year 1 convention. They didn't have press passes available, but a 2-day con for $50, sure, why not? Castle Point no longer does press passes. $60. Granted, I think that's $10 too much, but you know what? Drop $60 for to go to the show. So, Jen, what you need to do, if you think that I sit here and basically tear down every single convention I've gone to, or the fact that you think that we tear down every convention that we go to, you really need to listen to our podcast some more about when we go to conventions. You really need to read the reviews of cons that we go to. And to be perfectly honest, we do our absolute best to make it as positive as we can. But I get it. There's me. I do the best that I can. But it just happens. It all is. It happens. And I will write it. And I'll be straight with you. You know, you have to understand, between everybody on staff, we have over 20 years of convention experience. That includes as an attendee, panelist, and staffer. We're not experts and we're not geniuses, but we know enough to know what we like and we don't like. And as I say at the end of the show, what we tell you straight up, what we like and don't like. We're doing this for the fun of it because we love what we do. And it's simple as that. And I hope that answers your question. If it does not, you are more than welcome to come on the show at any time. We will sit down and interview you. We will go down your 14 thesis. I have an open platform for you. Anytime. And if it makes you feel better, it could just be you and me just talking these 14 points back and forth. Please understand that it's not a personal thing. It's more of a professional thing. And if you actually Google search your convention and your maid cafe, there are a lot of disgruntled people, albeit it's panelists, vendors, attendees, and staff who have issues with your events and think that you're running nothing but scam jobs. And that's what I think too. And let me just end it right here. Outside of the lawsuit you have with the Camelback, if you're running a convention and you have a fan page for it, you shouldn't be posting pictures of your family doing personal stuff on there. That fan page should be strictly for the con. If your kid is in front of the hotel pointing at it saying new location, cool. But if you're on there with your family just having a good time chilling in the pool, no, that belongs on your personal Facebook, maybe your cosplay Facebook, but not a convention one. And that's all I have to say about that. You know, I was going to have some nice background music with that. I think I'm going to pull the Iron Chef theme and drop it in the background. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into tonight's news. I'll kick things off, and then we're going to go back and forth. So,
okay,
this came up not really last minute, but I guess it's last minute. I don't know, because this was just brand spanking new that just came up.
Within 24 hours.
Yeah. I guess that can be considered breaking news. And in today's breaking news, Crunchyroll deletes and disables comments on their site. Mass hysteria, people losing their shit, people screaming violation of First Amendment rights, and so much, much more. And let me say this. If a website has blocked you from commenting site-wide, and it's not just you, it is not a violation of the First Amendment right.
That just says the government can't curtail what you say.
Exactly. The First Amendment right means you can insult the government any way you choose and not get in trouble for it. Websites and blogs are personal and private entities, and they can do as they see fit. And that's something that some of you entitled weebs need to fucking stand. So
hell is full of racists who blurted out racial slurs, tried to hide behind First Amendment rights, and got their faces punched in.
I will say this.
Shouldn't be talking shit.
Yeah. If there are people who are commenting and talking shit on my site, I will delete it. But if it gets to the point where I just can't deal with it, I will shut comments off. It's my site. I'm paying for it. And if you want commenting back, I would expect you to throw money towards the server bills as well as pay for subs to the channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And as Wretch says, they really thought that a site that sells access to animated comment would keep their comments on, even though YouTube shut it off. Point taken. So basically, as we said, Crunchyroll has not just disabled comments on its site, they deleted existing comments as well. Most likely the comments are still there. They just ran a command or turned off a plugin that just removes them as a whole. And they say, and they made a statement about that. At Crunchyroll, we prioritize creating a safe and respectful community environment. To maintain this standard, we are hiding all existing user-generated content, like I said, including comments and reviews across our platforms and experiences. We're always striving to enhance the user experience for our fans, including how they connect over the content they love. We encourage fans to share comments and connect with other fans on our social media channels. The user rating system however, will remain allowing you to express your opinion through star ratings. This is coming shortly after a viral Twitter post about Twilight Out of Focus, where a user highlighted certain comments on the first episode. Additionally, there have been multiple posts criticizing the translation of My Dear Friend Nokotan, which some users claim were generated by AI. It's unclear whether these affected the decision or have been previously planned. Crunchyroll support states that this measure aims to reduce harmful content and prevent misinformation, with the goal of improving the overall user experience. Now, Twilight Out of Focus is a BL anime. It's a boys love anime. If you don't know what that means, Google is your friend. Now, none of us who are watching, participating, and listening to this podcast are strangers to comments on pages and forums and so forth. I guarantee 99% of us have said some real fucked up, outlandish shit. Either to be a troll, to be a dick, to be a vindictive, whatever. We've all done it. Some of us, after saying it once, it's out of our system and we move on. But then you got those who will sit there and curse, end this, end that, F this, F that. They'll just go on this tirade. And there are people who do it just for the shits and giggles of it. Okay? Side note, Cedar says, if you don't know what boys love anime is, you're probably not the audience for this show for age. Which is true, but there are people who will still run their mouth. I would love it where somebody puts up like, oh, episode 5 of Kickback is available. I would love to jump into a discussion where we talk about the episode back and forth. Of course, there's going to be some slightly ruffled feathers because people are going to get a little heated. But to come out and say like, oh, the main character is an ass, or the main character takes it up the donkey button, all, this is not the place for it. Okay? And I don't blame them for doing it. I really don't. And again, for those of you who think that this is a First Amendment rights violation, you need to check yourself, go to the library, get a book on social studies and American history, and do some reading. Because evidently, you fell asleep in class. And as Cedar says, we have enough places to discuss anime. If you don't like the damn series and you don't have the option to comment on the series page, bitch on Twitter, bitch on Blue Sky.
That's what everyone else does.
Bitch on Facebook. But just remember, depending on how you bitch, your comment can get your account muted or shut down or something like that, you know? You know. I mean, we don't get a lot of comments on our website, but when we do, it's all been informative and informative. Like, it's been a while since we had like a decent comment thread, but when we made the post about Vic Mignogna, which I had to do some cleaning up on, when we talked about Anime Matsuri, that was a good, interesting, discussion right there. It doesn't bother me we don't get comments. It's quite all right. Same thing with our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and stuff like that. But I tell you what, if you want to comment and say this episode was bad, yeah, that's fine. Okay. If you're gonna say the episode was bad because all the people are hosting it is such as, I'm deleting your comment. And end of the day.
We don't need that kind of negativity.
Exactly. We have enough negativity for the entire staff and then some.
Not even being critical or offering any kind of constructive criticism. You're just being a dick towards us.
Yep. So, long story short, Crunchyroll hid and shut down commenting system, and if you don't like it, I have 3 words for you: tough fucking titties. All right, Ari, tell the people what is going on in this Pokemon art contest and how stupid people are.
Something else to punch. We have fun punching down at AI art. The Pokemon Company holds regular illustration contests for fans to submit their artwork to possibly be used as official art for Pokemon trading cards. More recently made available to artists in the US. However, the company's 2024 competition has a new, not-so-fun wrinkle of controversy as AI-generated art has weaseled its way into the top 300 entries. And fans are not happy to have passed through the company's vetting process undetected. Now the company has put out a statement that said it's disqualifying entries that violate its contest rules. It all began on June 14th when the Pokemon Company posted the top 300 entries. Fans took notice of what appeared to be one AI participant using multiple names to submit more than one piece, then the 3 submission limit. As word spread, fans started making a ruckus online, raking the alleged AI art over the coals while criticizing the Pokemon Company for letting it get into the top 300, taking up spots from real artists who also entered the contest. And we also see streams of tweets pointing out the obvious AI tendencies. And scan through Hive AI image detector, which
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all of them like 99+%. After 11 days, the Pokemon Company released a statement confirming that some entries violated the official content's rules and have been disqualified. The statement stopped short of specifying what rules were broken or naming anyone that will be removed from the top 300, but it says that other submitted entries will be added to the top 300 finalists to replace the disqualified. And apparently, some pieces still accused of being AI are still on the site.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like punching down at AI art just as much as the next guy, but this is just a low blow. Like, how the hell are you gonna do this to friggin' Pokemon art? Come on.
Well,
I mean, at least stories about AI art generators pulling from other AI art, meaning that the resulting quality of output is getting worse and worse and worse. At least that's a little uplifting.
well, I will say this: there are some AI art that's too good, and you really gotta look.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times, people are running it through machines that are detecting it. Machines aren't perfect. They only know what they know of what you feed into it. Because I could tell you this: if this was like maybe 10 years ago, the contest probably would have been limited to a certain amount of entries, and the time to do it may have been adjusted because people are going through each one and viewing them and checking it. Whereas now, send them all in. We'll run them through a system, done and done, and somehow it got past the system. That's basically what it is, you know. But again, it wouldn't. But I will say there are some fan artists out there I've seen where I'm like, is that AI? No, that's actually them. And I will tell you this now: the easiest way to tell if your anime fan art waifu is AI is just look. Don't even look at the hands or just look at the face. If it looks surrealistic, if it slightly resembles Gadget from Rescue Rangers in the slightest, and it's not Gadget, it's AI. Simple as that. But I am glad that
Also, looking at the background and the jacked up letters.
that too. I am also glad about the fact that shit. I just lost my train of thought. Never fucking mind. Anywho, enough about that. All right. So you fucked around. You found out. You got DQ'd.
And you got, publicly exposed as a prompter.
Yep. You got dragged. Cry harder. That's all I gotta say is cry harder. Okay. Moving right along. We're gonna get into our next story. Again, this was I call this the shock that was heard all around the world. A brand new Magic Knight Rayearth anime has been announced. What year is this? Who is fucking with the timeline? I'm like, wow. Okay. I have never seen Rayearth from start to finish because when Rayearth was around, I couldn't afford to watch the series. I really didn't know a lot of people who had it. And those who did, I was kind of like not really wanting to ask and borrow because I didn't want it to get damaged. Now that we have streaming, I can actually find out who's streaming it and check it out and watch it. But I do know of it and I hear it's good things. Plus, it's Clamp. So, this new project is in conjunction with the series' 30th anniversary. If you go on TMS's website, YouTube page, that is, there is a trailer that announces this along with some visuals as well. There will be a release date, staff, and cast coming soon. We don't know who's all in it, but it will be there. So, for those of you who don't know, Clamp released the original Magic Knight Rayearth series manga from 1993 to 1995, and then there was Magic Knight Rayearth 2 released in 95 to 96. Both were in Kodansha's Nakayoshi magazine. There were a total of 6 volumes released in Japan. Both series have been released in the US through Kodansha USA. Toshihiro Hirano directed the anime series at TMS Entertainment from 94 to 95 for a total of 49 episodes. There was a 3-part OVA Rayearth OVA series in 97 directed by Keitaro Motonaga and Toshiki Hirano, also from both from TMS Entertainment. The premise of Rayearth is Hikaru Shido, Umi Ryuzaki, and Fu Hohoji are from Sephiroth. While on a school field trip to the Tokyo Tower, why does everything happen at the Tokyo Tower? The 3 girls' minds are on anything but different worlds filled with magic and wonder. That is until Princess Esmeralda, the Pillar of Sephiroth, cries out for the Magic Knights to save her world, and that just happens to be those 3. And you know what's going to be cool? Seeing this in gorgeous HD. That's awesome. Shinobiri says, I've only read the manga and watched the OVA. I love the OVA. I think I'm going to have to put this series on my list to watch because I miss out on a lot of old school stuff. But for those of you who don't know, my favorite Clamp series is Kido Tenshi Angelic Layer, which is the prequel to Chobits. Don't believe me? Check the wiki. And read the Chobits manga. It mentions it there too. Okay, moving right along, we're gonna get into another bit of shocking news. I think this came out of AX about Ribby, and I'm just like, well, honestly, they could have spent their money on better things, like holding on to the license to the last bunch of Sailor Moon movies to release on Blu-ray so I could have a physical copy of my collection. But whatever.
Let's see.
I'm not that bitter.
Viz Media announced during its panel at Anime Expo on Friday that it has acquired the Ruby series following Rooster Teeth shutting down. Viz Media owns the rights for future distribution, production, licensing, and consumer products. The company is also exploring the production of new chapters in the series. Viz has published manga for the Ruby franchise, including Shiro Miya's adaptation of the web animated series in Ultra Jump magazine from November 2015 to February 2017. Viz Media published the manga in English in Weekly Shonen Jump beginning in October 2017, and also published the manga in print. The company also published Bunta Kinami's Ruby the Official Manga. Kinami launched the manga in Shonen Jump Plus in December 2018 and ended it in July 2020. And additionally, Viz Media published the Ruby manga anthology series. The original Ruby web animated series by the late creator Mani Ohm follows 4 girls with unique weapons and powers who are trained to hunt special supernatural creatures of Grimm. Rooster Teeth produced 9 volumes and 117 episodes. The 9th volume began in February 2023 and ended on March 30th. Shaft's Ruby Ice Queendom television anime for the franchise premiered in Japan in 2022, and Crunchyroll streamed the series as it aired in Japan, also with an English dub. And yeah, after 21 years, Rooster Teeth shut down due to, quote, challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. And parent company Warner Brothers Discovery is looking to explore options with that and their other series, Genlock.
I need to watch that.
Genlock?
Yeah. I've heard good things about that.
I never got into Ruby after the first.
No. I ain't talking about Ruby. I'm talking about Genlock.
I know, but I was just talking about Ruby.
All right.
I was just saying I can never get into it after first couple episodes.
My issue with Ruby is the same issue I had with Sailor Moon Crystal. The terrible animation quality. The only difference is I know the Sailor Moon lore. I've watched the original 200, so I could get with that. And also, even though the Sailor Moon Crystal anime quality was pretty bad, it's a hell of a lot better than what was coming out with Ruby. And I understand it's a different studio, different lesser. I get that, but I don't know. It's just no. Now, if they were to go back and redo all of the episodes in all of the prior seasons and higher quality animation style, I'm all for that.
Who knows? They might do it if Viz is doing it.
Anything's plausible. Okay, let's get into our next story here. Trigun Stampede's final phase called Trigun Stargaze. Now, I didn't finish the original Trigun. From the episodes I saw, I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it. There's a really great Trigun AMV out there. There's two of them, Wild Wild West and Tainted Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
The
latter's my favorite, I think.
I watched Trigun Stampede. I wouldn't say it's dark, but it punched right to the point, and I thought it was great. Berry says Trigun is so great and heartbreaking, and I get that. I absolutely get that. So now that we got that, we're gonna let you know about the new sequel series. This was revealed at the Trigun Stampede panel at Anime Expo. It's the final phase of the series, and this takes place 2.5 years after the end of Trigun Stampede. Orange, which is the production studio that did the original Trigun Stampede, revealed that there will be new character designs as well as new visuals from Yasuhiro Naitao, which is cool. I've seen the new design of Vasher Stampede. I like his jacket with the big old zip in the hood. I would wear that. I thought it looks great. Crunchyroll has said that they will stream the final phase as it airs. The original Stampede series aired in Japan in January of last year, and you can get it on Crunchyroll, and you can watch it subbed and dubbed. The story follows the misadventures of Vasher Stampede, a gunman on the lam with a $60 billion double dollar bounty on his head. He earned his Stampede nickname thanks to the destruction that zealous bounty hunters wreak on any town that he visits. Kenji Muto, who worked on Cavity Express, B-Stars, Landed Illustrious, directed the anime at Orange. Koji Tajima was the concept designer and was credited with the character concept. Takehiro Oxy was credited with the story draft, and Totoro Inamoto, Shin Okushima, and Yoshihisa Ueda wrote the scripts and were in charge of the composition. Nao Uts was the chief designer, and character designers include Kodai Watanabe, Tetsuro Moronoki, Takehiro Abiru, Akiko Sato, Soji Ninomiya, and Yumihiko Amano. Tatsuya Kato, who worked on Free, Fate, K-Led, Inner Prison Ilya franchises, did the music. Madhouse did the original series for 26 episodes back in 1998. It was released in North America in 2000 by Genia Entertainment, and us older otakus know them as Pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
They originally, and now you can now watch the series on, at the time, Funimation, but now you can watch it on Crunchyroll. The Trigun anime adopts Yasuhiro Naitao's manga of the same name. The manga ran in Tokuma Shoten's monthly Shonen Captain magazine from 95 to 97. The manga returned with Trigun Maximum and Shonen Gahosha's Young King Hours magazine and ran from 97 to 2007. And you can pick up the manga translated in English by Dark Horse. There was an animated film called Trigun Badlands Rumble that came out in April 2010, and this was the first new Trigun animation in over a decade. Now, I know there was one of the characters that did not come back in Stampede, and people were kind of pissed about it. I just forget her name.
Was it Millie or the other one?
Which one wears the white outfit?
Shit, I'm blanking on her name.
All right, I'm going to do a quick search for Trigun characters. Let's see who can get to it first.
Millie? No, not Millie. Merrill.
Meryl was there. Millie was not there. That's who it was. Yes. Yes. Meryl was there. People were upset that Millie was not. Maybe in the new series, Millie makes an appearance.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. All right. And our last story of the night. Again, this isn't a breaking news when this happened over the weekend. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
An Anthrocon attendee was attacked with a sword at Pittsburgh's Wyndham Grand Hotel. Oh boy, that's a South Carolina man is charged with aggravated assault after allegedly attacking a transgender woman with a sword at a Pittsburgh Wyndham Grand Hotel. Police say the incident happened a little after 1 a.m. on Thursday. Investigators said police got a call for a person in the hallway bleeding and screaming for help. Responding officers later found the victim in the lobby and blood on the floor and walls of the 5th floor.
Ooh.
Police say the victim had a severe laceration on her hand and she would at least need stitches. For the victim, which she opted to go into the hospital on her own, probably because the cost for an ambulance ride is astronomical. According to a criminal complaint, police spoke with a witness who said he, the victim, and another man came to Pittsburgh for Anthrocon. According to the witness, Jake O'Leary, 26 of Greenville, South Carolina, called them and asked them to come to Pittsburgh a day earlier than they originally planned, and that they could stay overnight with him until the hotel was ready. The group got out of the room at the Wyndham Grand, and after going to bed, O'Leary allegedly got up, grabbed a sword, and began swinging it.
Ooh.
Police said the victim shielded herself from the blows and was struck multiple times. And at some point during the incident, O'Leary also suffered an injury to his face and was taken to the hospital before being taken to jail. He has a preliminary hearing on July 15th.
That's good.
I don't know what was going through this guy's head.
Neither do I. Because now, a part of me thinks that this had to be premeditated because he invited them to come up a day early. Whether he found out that his friend is trans and he didn't like it, or she rejected him and he got upset over it, or something.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it was no reason to flip out like that. It's just no. It's absolutely no reason for that. And on a side note, I don't want to veer too far off. When it comes to that, there's something that comes to mind. Like, to me, conventions should be a safe space to be who you are. Check your personal shit at the door. Let's get together, cosplay together, sing and dance together, drink together, have a good time. That's all I really want.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of sucks when you have cosplayers bringing in their personal, religious, and political views and just causing a fucking shitstorm. I have cut ties with people who bring. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I was friends with somebody who was really deep into the Final Fantasy XI fandom, and I supported them. So I found out they are not transphobic, but they're anti-gay, and I'm just like, but you're marrying, and I'm just like, how can you be anti-gay but you're marrying somebody who is Filipino? Granted, it's not one and the same, but still, it's like selective racism or disrespect or something like that. It's like, I haven't spoken to them in like 10 plus 15 years, and it's for the best. I wonder how would they feel if they found out that their ex-fiance came out as trans. Might blow their mind. If I ever run into her, I just want to go toe-to-toe with her on DDR and just stomp her out. That's it. Then that'll make me feel better. So, anyway. Now that we got that out the way, we're going to get into the part of the show that y'all really like and stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan. Normally we had 3 articles. We would go through all 3, but we're only going to do 2. So, Ari, you get the pick.
I'll take the last one, because I kind of know which one you want.
Actually, no.
Really?
I'm taking the first one.
All right.
I was going to take the second one, and Mako took the first one. That was a given. I knew that. But this story is a little bit more outlandish, and I've kind of seen this at the airports, but still. And for those of you wondering what the other article is, it's about a veterinarian office that has a custom sign drawn by Rumiko Takahashi. But this story about driving a suitcase is more outlandish. And the thing is, this is the first charge of its kind in Japan. So, holy crap. It's often said that when visiting another country, it's important to get acquainted with the laws of the land to avoid serious trouble. Although it's good advice, it can really be hard to know all of the legals in and outs of another country, especially when with traffic laws as subtle and minute as Japan. Unfortunately, this resulted in legal troubles for one woman who took her suitcase out for a spin. Yes, you heard me right. She took her suitcase out for a spin. This happened on March 31st, where the woman of Chinese nationality, a Chinese national studying in Japan, was caught riding her suitcase on the sidewalk in Fukushima Ward, Osaka City. Her suitcase was equipped with wheels and an electric motor, allowing her to reach speeds of 13 kilometers per hour, which translates to 8 miles an hour. The woman is denying the charges and told police, "I didn't think of it as a vehicle, so I didn't think I needed a license." While declaring you didn't know the law you broke was a law isn't much of a legal defense, it's easy to sympathize with her situation. Even Japanese people struggle understanding the laws regarding which small vehicles as these require a license to operate and which ones don't. Traditionally, the main factor is governing the classification of the vehicle's engine size. Vehicles with engines of displacements of 50 cubic centimeters or less are classified as Type 1. Gendo Kitsuki Jinesha. That can roughly be translated as moped, but it covers a wider range than that. Like we've talked about on this show about go-karts that go around Tokyo. Those are Type 1s. Those are considered mopeds, but they're go-karts. A few decades ago, this was pretty straightforward and helped to distinguish things like a dirt bike or a scooter from a Harley. But in recent years, the matters have been complicated with the advent of electric power-assisted bicycles and kick scooters, and suitcases now. And if you don't believe me, you can actually go on Amazon and buy a motorized suitcase. I've seen people riding them around in the airport, but not outside in the public.
I can't imagine why.
I think I would actually wait like a couple of minutes for the bus instead of having to walk. That's just me. Since their various shapes, sizes, and weights can make a displacement and power output poor indicators of actual speed and accelerations, revisions have been made to regulate their use, and the vehicle's top speed now taken into consideration. One general rule of thumb in Japan is that a vehicle with a maximum speed of 6 kilometers per hour, which is 3.7 miles an hour, is treated as a pedestrian rather than a vehicle. That's why old folks on mobility scooters don't get busted for operating what are technically Gendo Kitsuki Jitensha vehicles. Fair. In the case of the woman's suitcase, it is said to be capable of 13 kilometers per hour and thus categorized as a Gendo Kitsuki Jitensha vehicle, which requires a license. It's important to note that she didn't even have to be traveling at that speed to be charged. The vehicle itself must be limited at a top speed of 6 kph, or in some cases have a functioning alert light that shows what the speed has reached. Only other possible way for her to get around it is to have her suitcase classified as a Tokute Kogata Gendo Kitsuki Jintesha, which means specified small motorized bicycle. It's not the same as a Tokute Kogata Gendo Kitsuki Jintesha, which is a specified small motorized bicycle. The new category is usually reserved for powered kick scooters and goes as fast as 20 kph without a license. However, they do require additional equipment like a headlight, a license plate, two things suitcase did not have. It's all pretty convoluted stuff, but the bottom line is that while in Japan, if you're planning to ride a suitcase or whatever they come up with that's rideable, make sure you have a license or make sure you can't go faster than 6 kph. Here I thought there'd be some type of drunken aspect to it. I was wrong.
Pleasantly surprised.
I know, right?
Un- of course, I can only imagine someone trying to quote unquote get away on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going at comically slow speed, and it's like, lady, please stop this. You're embarrassing yourself.
Mm.
All right, shall I continue with mine?
Go for it.
A life-size Gundam statue is to appear in Osaka for the first time ever.
Wow.
Osaka's been doing a lot lately to establish itself as an otaku travel destination, largely thanks to Universal Studio Japan's collaboration with major anime and video game franchises. But now comes word of Osaka's biggest anime collaboration yet, as the city will, for the very first time, be getting a life-size Gundam statue. This 1-to-1 scale anime mecha will be appearing at Expo 2025, the upcoming World's Fair, scheduled to open next year. Bandai Namco Holdings, the Gundam franchise's rights holder, will be constructing an RX-78 Gundam, the model seen in the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime, next to the pavilion at the event. Unlike previous life-size Gundams, the one at Expo 2025 will not be standing perfectly upright. It'll be kneeling down with a hand outstretched towards the heavens, a pose chosen to evoke feelings of reaching for the future in outer space. The total height of the installation will be slightly over 16 meters, about 52.5 feet, and concept art suggests that a beacon of light will be shining behind the Gundam after sundown. This will be a life-size Gundam's first trip to Japan's central Kansai region. It won't be the first time anyone's laid eyes on it. This Gundam is a reconfiguring of the one that, until last spring, stood at the waterfront in the city of Yokohama, half an hour south of downtown Tokyo. A bittersweet farewell ceremony was held for the RX-78 in April before it was dismantled, but the full-size Gundam was obviously too awesome to scrap. It won't move at Expo 2025. The multi-jointed design is what's allowing it to strike a new pose, making it seem more like a gigantic Gundam figure. And Expo 2025 will take place from April 13th to October 13th of 2025. And the Gundam will be there the entire time.
That's cool.
Oh, very much so.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. I figured they got to do something with that. The previous Gundam model. They couldn't just trash it, right?
No.
It's a good use of it.
I'm about that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Even though we have time, and I have the fan on me, I'm starting to get a little sweaty, and maybe because I'm not hydrating enough. I think it's time we kind of wrap up the show.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. All right, let's set that up there. So, again, we'll have the whole squad here next week. It'll be some great times. So, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. And then tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, we're independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we like and don't like, we're basically telling you as is. So there you go. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you'll find not just our weekly podcasts on it, you'll find cosplay tips and tricks, cosplayer interviews. Let's see what else you'll find on there. Editorials, anime reviews, links to our social media pages of convention and cosplay coverage, and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And don't forget to follow our podcast on any podcasting site that you check us out on. Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check them all out. And what's cool is these apps have the option, actually have a comment section. So drop a comment. We want to know what you think of the show. No, we mean that. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's all Anime Jam Session. Follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when we have new articles up, photos, videos, the whole kit and caboodle. And if you're still participating with us, down below is our tip jar. You can find links, clickable links to our Stream Elements, our Streamlabs, and our Ko-Fi pages. You can click on those and throw us a few dollars. We appreciate that. You can also cheer us on with bits in the chat. That's also great. You can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs. All that is cool, and we appreciate that. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Ari.
I'm just tired and I want to go to bed.
I hear you. My last words is I played Uno with some friends on the 4th. We did stacking and piling. I had fun. I missed that. I need to do that again. I might have to bring my deck when I hang out with friends this weekend. So that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Anime Jam Session. And if the weather's just right, Mako will be joining us. Ari will be here. I will be here. Barry will be here. Will you be here? We hope you are. So that is it. End of list. We're getting out of here. I'm Ranma.
And I'm Ari.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Ari.
Good night, Ari.
Awesome. And I'll say goodnight too. Good night, Ranma. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!